I'm Michelle with two L's.
And I'm Natalie the Red.
And we are Force of Light Entertainment. And today we're here for our review of the new A24 film, Backrooms, based on a YouTube video.
Yeah, that's cool.
It is, yeah. So before we get started, if you've not yet subscribed to Force Light Entertainment and you enjoy movie reactions, you enjoy movie reviews, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also give this video a thumbs up and ring the notification bell. That way you're notified every time we release a new reaction or review. Okay, let's go ahead and get into Backrooms. So as I just said, we've now got two movies in the theater currently that are from YouTubers.
Nice.
Yes, being Obsession, which is kind of taking the world by storm, and then also Backrooms, the movie that we are going to be reviewing today. So I think that's cool for starters. So I just, shout out to the YouTubers that are making movies that are doing tremendous numbers at the box office. That's awesome. But let's get into this movie. The way we're going to do this, we're going to give you what we like and dislike and rate this film. So this film, it's technically a horror film, but I feel this is more in the vein of like kind of psychological. Like
I would agree with that.
Kind of more psychological,
more of a mental game.
Yeah, it's because it's very dreamlike in a way, and that leads into one of the things that I would say I enjoyed about it. Is the fact that this movie is almost like a bad dream where you're just rooms keep coming, that there's no end. You can't get out. It feels like that. There might be things in there. There's doors and exits that aren't where you think they should be. There's things that are kind of familiar, but then not familiar. I think we've all had that dream where you're in your room, but it's not your room type of situation. And that's kind of what this movie feels like. And that's where I think this movie thrives.
I would agree with that. Yeah, just because I think that I would venture to say probably, I know I have, and I would say many of us have had kind of a similar something like that. Might not look like, but where you just open another door and another door and there's another room and then there's a secret new room that's your that's kind of weird and there's spiders and cobwebs. I mean, so it just adding that personal touch at the end. But I'm just saying that I think a lot of us can relate to the concept of this, which I do find to be an interesting premise.
Yes, and I will say it's a very well-made movie, well-acted film. And again, that's kind of what you're in for. And the scary moments are, there might be some weird things in some of these rooms. So that those
some disturbing imagery here and there.
Yeah. So those things worked for me. Okay. Let me get into what I disliked about this film. It's not like it's necessarily one thing that, I disliked, but I felt like there was just kind of something missing for this film to really grab me. The way that, movies I love do grab you, maybe even an emotional level. Like I didn't feel as connected as maybe I should have to be, really in and really invested in the situation. I will say some people probably there is kind of a switch that maybe takes place without spoiling anything here towards the end of the film. It didn't bother me. In fact, I kind of liked it, but I could see where some people may not. So I'll throw that out there. But yeah, for me, there was something kind of lacking. There was just it's technically good. And there was things I definitely enjoyed, but there was also something I just kind of knew was missing for me personally.
I would agree with that too. Just that there was maybe something missing to really pull me in and connect to.
Yeah.
Because, in full transparency, it wasn't super late, but I was a little tired. We went to the 7:45 showing. So it wasn't super late, but I was tired enough. And I think maybe the movie does such a good job of making almost a dreamlike state that I myself was in and out of a dreamlike state, if you follow me. So no, I saw most of it, but it's just like I was kind of, you get kind of comfy and close, and then you put your eyes open again, kind of thing. But so I guess, while they did a good job of creating a dreamlike state, and I don't mean to sound too harsh, but maybe that would be a bit of my critique, is that it was kind of losing me, it seems. Like there wasn't maybe, like you're back to your point, just something to really grab me, I guess, enough to really be like, oh, I got to see, I've got to have my eyes open for this.
Yes, that's where I would say there's just something kind of missing to like that emotional connection that I really need for a movie in particular. I will say this is not a negative or a positive. It did bother me. I will say this movie at times it definitely throws weird things at you.
Yes,
I think that's the best way I could describe this film. It's weird,
and not in a bad way.
No. Sometimes it does get really weird, and I think some people are going to be like, "You've lost me here." I will say that. It didn't really have that effect for me, but it gets weird. That's
things get weird, guys.
It got really weird at times. So that's kind of what I have to say about that. Yeah, that's kind of my negatives, and I think you're the same. So let's go ahead and rate Backrooms, 5 being the max level of hoots, max level of enjoyment. I think there's a very interesting concept here. I think it's something you can relate to and feel eerie with the people because, again, it is very dreamlike in a way. But for me, there just wasn't enough emotional connection that really, like, I felt locked in fully the whole movie. I stayed with it. But like Natalie said, sometimes it would kind of not lose you. It's just like you
lull a little.
And but it was interesting. I'm going to give this 3.5 out of 5 hoots. Very well made film, well acted film, interesting concept. There just was a little something missing for me to move it up to a 4, 4.5, or 5.
How many hoots did you give it?
3.5.
Okay, again, not to copy, but I was between a 3 and a 3.5, but I think I will give it that extra half due to the production design and that dreamlike quality that I think they did very much, hit at times. Or, there's one scene in particular where a character goes out and it's like a sort of like a mini, but within a big room, and it's like this, just wild stuff. So, I mean, my hat's off to them in that regard.
Yeah. So with that, like, would I recommend it? I think if you enjoy kind of more psychological horror films, now some people are going to be like, did I find this really scary? I did not, no, I did not. But I thought, if you like horror films or kind of suspenseful, psychological thrillers, I'd say at least check out a matinee of it.
I think they were onto something good here.
They were.
Like you said, there
was something missing.
There was an ingredient missing, I think.
Yes, like they
were onto something.
It's like the bones were good of this, but there was some heart missing for me personally. I think it's some heart is what was missing in this film for me. It won't be for everyone, but so 3.5 hoots for both of us for Backrooms, the new A24 film. What do you guys think of this film? Are you planning on seeing it? Have you seen it? Share your thoughts below. And if you have not yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also give this video a thumbs up. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, remember to be a force of light. All right. Bye, guys.